You're listening to Diligent Loiter, diligentloiter.com. We're serious about doing nothing. This is episode number 104 with Jared Benjamin.
So you can't see this right now, but I'm rubbing my nipples dancing to this song.
And you wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh my goodness.
Don't forget you can call or text the show 530-68-DL-POD 530-683-5763. If you missed that, just rewind. It's a podcast. You can email us, diligentloiter@gmail.com. You can like us on all the social media. It's all under Diligent Loiter because we planned ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't forget to check us out on Tumblr
And Instagram.
and Pinterest
And Twitter.
and Facebook.
And Crap Jared Says Twitter.
Oh, you had to throw that in there.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, this is episode 104. Jared, thank you so much for coming back into studio, being our first guest of this pseudo season.
It ain't no thing.
Cool.
That sums it up.
What were we talking about right before we came on air? Oh, we were doing a sound check and it was fucking hilarious. And one thing that I want to do is, like, we were talking about Patreon, and you know what Patreon is, right, Jared?
It's isn't like GoFundMe or something, like you get like a certain amount of funds for
kind
your
of
campaign or
basically
business.
you make whatever you produce, whether it be like YouTube videos or podcasts or whatever you do, and you make it voluntarily subscription based. So it's like I know a lot of YouTubers are using it now because YouTube ad revenue, if you drop a fuck bomb or if you say shit, even your videos will get demonetized. They're not deemed fit for advertisers.
But just for the record, I can say curse words still, right?
I just said fucking shit.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. Well, you know, there's also
I know.
limits on TV. I know, like you can say
Well,
fuck
no,
or shit
what happens,
once in a PG-13 movie, and then afterwards are like, okay,
They have
this is
quantity limits?
Yeah, pretty much.
And in PG-13, it's like you get a limit to 2 shits, no fucks. You can say ass.
Is that
times.
verbal shits or like
Verbal shits?
like
if you
Dumb and
actually
Dumber
film
shits?
someone, if you what do you mean Dumb and Dumber shits?
like diarrhea?
Well,
Like
yeah,
two poops per
I feel
episode
like,
or
I
two
feel
poops
like,
per movie?
I feel like that's like, you know, feel good enough where people are just say, oh, that's a classic, and they're not really gonna think like, oh, these are 2 guys really shitting hard on fucking toilets. So
Well, you said fucking, so now
yeah, but I just
The
found out
movies.
where it's cool to
But
curse,
anywho, let me go back to what I was saying. We want to
potty
keep it
words are bad.
to a minimum, but like we're not censored. That doesn't
You
mean
sure?
that doesn't mean that this is a dirty show. It's just
Or is it, baby?
no, it's not.
only when Jared's on
Yeah.
and Brandon.
Brandon. Oh, yeah. Anyway,
Oh, my.
back to Patreon.
He gets it from me.
A lot of people are using Patreon as YouTubers because they're losing a lot of money from ad revenue, and that way they don't have to conform to those
I like
standards.
that. I like that.
And it's usually like $1 a month is like the limit. But then if you pledge more, like so it comes out like every month, like a monthly subscription.
Mm-hmm.
If you pledge more, then there's different levels. And when you pledge, when you are a patron, when you're a Patreon patron, you get access to different perks for whatever level you came in at.
Yeah.
So like doing like the sound check and saving the sound check stuff.
Yeah.
And like recording the audio in the studio for like the hour beforehand because there's always stuff going on. Then
That's when the best things happen.
I know, but having that be like the Patreon, people exclusive, get that released to those people, so then like you're getting something worthwhile that you don't get just by being a regular listener.
Yeah.
So there's things like that we've been thinking about.
I like it too because, I know there's been a lot of more policies out that have been made to censor the internet, and I feel like Patreon's a great way for you to have that, take off those uncensored limits. Obviously, I still feel there should be a limit to someone's speech. That's why I don't say like racist, misogynist, xenophobic bullshit. But I'm from Brooklyn, okay? The first words I ever heard in the car were from my mom. Love you, Mom. But she said, get off the road, dickwad. I still remember this being from the age of 5. See? That deserves a goddamn fucking applause.
I got my
Woo,
laugh
for
track. I
Jared's
laugh tracked
mom.
you.
Boom.
I laugh tracked you, buddy.
I wanted to be laugh tracks.
I laugh
Jokes
tracked
on
you.
you, sucker. Well, actually, it's on both of us because we both contributed to it.
I love when Jared gets all riled up.
Oh yeah, that kissy face. I don't really need to be riled up in an angry way, I think, to be funny.
No,
I'm just
no, you
naturally
don't.
insane.
No, it's funnier when you're just riled up and not in an angry way. When you're in an angry,
No, not
Yeah,
riled
yeah,
up.
angry way,
Passionate.
Jared leaves when he's in an.
I would say Jared is very
Riled up and angry.
passionate,
I am
and
a very
that's one of his
passionate person.
one of his qualities.
It's one of my great qualities as a lover too.
Oh my!
I shouldn't say that.
Oh, you get
We-
extra passionate. Do you just like start ranting and raving about '80s hair bands?
Not at all. I just hate them.
70s.
I mean,
bands.
well, no.
Talk dirty to me.
I-
Oh my God, Poison was the best band ever.
You don't like 80s
Yeah.
bands? 80s hair bands?
Not all of them. I like a few. Like I like the Scorpions. I like Van
Okay.
Halen because they were the first. And let's face it, it's Van fucking Halen.
Oh.
They didn't do a lot of that
True.
love ballad bullshit and sell their fucking souls to the Billboard charts, and they didn't need to because they're
Explain.
bad. Oh my God! You just mentioned Poison, who made so many goddamn love ballads. I understand for like middle-aged people and people who grew up in the '80s and '90s and early '90s that like listening to Whitesnake saying "Here I go again on my own." That's like your love song. You know what my fucking love song is? La Vie en fucking Rose, at the risk of sounding like a hipster. I love
The Discovery
actual-
Channel song?
Actually, yeah. I mean, to an extent.
Did you say "Kiss by a Rose"?
No,
By
La
Seal?
Vie en Rose.
Oh,
Kiss by a Rose is a pretty beautiful
That
song,
is a
but I
pretty
wouldn't.
I love that song.
My dad loves that
I
song.
like to
too.
shave to that song.
My
You do.
my dad actually,
weird.
my Seal was actually the first, I think, solo artist my dad ever really got into. He loves all his music, but he played Kiss from a Rose every time we would be in the car. He played just either Seal or Steely Dan.
Good options.
Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
While your mom's yelling, "Get out of the road, dickwad!"
No, that they were divorced before that,
Oh.
before it really caught on. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't you feel terrible.
No, I feel bad. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm just fucking with you. Don't feel terrible.
Oh, they're not divorced?
No, they are, but
Oh.
you shouldn't feel terrible
Sorry.
about it. You had nothing to do with
No,
it.
I didn't even know.
I still love them both to death.
We still love you, Jared.
I would still kill for them. I would literally,
I won't
slice
mess with them,
someone's
then.
nuts off and stick their entrails inside their nipples for them. So, because I love my family.
Next topic. You have recently been published. You were published for
Yeah,
a
this is-
short story and now 2 poems.
Actually, I'm going to go further than that. As of this year, just in these first 2 months, I've been accepted by 4 different publications.
Nice.
And last year, starting as soon as the August of 2017, I was published by 6 in 2017. The list goes, I had poetry now featured in the Oculum. By the way, I'm plugging these places away because they're all
it.
great online journals.
That's why I brought it up.
Oculum, which is actually David Lynch's favorite literary journal.
Nice.
Clinton, if you're hearing this, maybe you would actually for once read a goddamn book instead of talking about visual art like it's better when, they can go hand in hand, you dumbass. Love you, dude.
Visual art could be reading, though, because
It is, but
you're looking at the words.
Exactly. So again, you're proving my point that they correlate.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just joking, Clinton. You know I fucking love you, dude. Not in that way. Even though you might want it.
I love you in that way.
Me?
Yeah.
Clinton.
What about Jared? Oh,
CJ.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm sexier.
He goes by CJ now.
I know.
Anyway, second,
remember.
you should have him as a guest. I'd like to hear what he would have to say.
We're working on it.
He'd be like,
Oh, that'd be amazing.
my
He's
God,
on the list.
Like, I'm going to talk so much gossip about so many people.
CJ, we'll
and
have
then
you
I'm
on
gonna be like,
and eat cherry
Back
pie
to
and
the-
drink coffee.
Oh yeah, sorry. I just love doing impressions of Clinton because it's so easy. Again, don't hate me, dude. I'm just fucking with you. The Oculum, which is again, they have a lot of like sci-fi based poetry, a lot of like. It's a great. I suggest you check them out. All these journals have free content to view too. So, second one,
Free?
yeah, all of them are free.
That's awesome.
They're not print journals except for one of them, but even that was free.
Brenton's pretty much dead now.
Depends.
Pretty much.
If you sell something in Brooklyn, not so much. There's a lot of hipsters who still want to read online journals there and everywhere
It's like
else.
the vinyl
but
of reading.
Yeah, exactly. Second one was Anti-Heroin Chic. It's a really cool place. A few Buffalo poets that I want to plug as well. Justin Karcher and Ben Brandeis were featured in there. incredibly talented poets. Then there's Vending Machine Press, which has published a few great poets, and one by the name of Carly Weiser, who introduced me that in a journal. I'm sorry I'm taking so long.
Oh,
no, it's fine.
In Between Hangovers, which is actually an online journal in the UK.
It's also known as drinking?
No, but
No,
I think a
Hangovers?
lot of their poems I feel have to do with like dreamscapes and stuff like
okay.
that. So they
Cool.
have that hangover philosophy, I guess. But I mean, I only read a few poems from there, but a lot of them are great.
Yeah.
Then I found out I was getting published as an alumni in Damon's new print journal. They used to be called Writer's Block. Now they're called Iconoclast. And what really means a lot to me is that Damon, for the longest time, and I know they were trying, they did not feature a lot of like well-known authors, just a lot of student authors, and that's great. I'd rather hear the students' voices than someone from a national circuit. But a lot of college journals feature both, and that's how they get like their names out there a lot faster, and that's how they increase circulation among the populace. So Iconoclast is really doing great. Shout out to Bill Okowski and all the Damon students, and Rosalie Noyes, and Luke Daly, who also is a professor at Damon and I believe a teaching artist at Just Buffalo Literary Center. So again, great journal. I'm glad I was a part of it alongside some incredible poets. Sorry to bore everyone with the journals, but I think it's awesome.
No.
I think it's awesome. And then the only fiction I had published so far is this flash fiction called The Ballad of Jimmy Maxwell, about this guy who used to be in punk rock bands, but now he's like sold his soul to like corporate America.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like all mundane and stuff, his whole life. And then this year I had poetry published in 2 incredible local journals, Ghost City Review. Well, not published yet, but it's actually the soonest one is coming out later this month in Ghost City Review, which is also online. Again, check all these out. Peach Mag, which is a great journal that features all walks of life, from LGBTQ poetry to different ethnic poets all over Buffalo, incredibly talented, from Eve Williams to Skylar J. Rakowski to Dan Mickion to Tom Dreitline. Oh my God, I can't even. The list just goes on and on. But it's run by Rochelle Taramino, who is incredible. She was the one who took a look at my work, and I'm really honored to be a part of it. That's going to come out in April. There's no date yet, but Steel Bellow, which is print, but it's free. You can order online for free, I believe, or they usually have them at certain events or readings. But I'm going to be featured in that as well. It's run by an incredibly talented poet by the name of Paige Mellon. She's the founding editor of it, one of the founding editors, and the whole poem was actually a whole dedication to my Buffalo poet friends, and so it hits close to home, but it's a pretty great publication. They publish only poetry that's associated with Buffalo in some way, so I think that's really cool because I love Buffalo,
716, baby.
Yeah, 716.
Question: how did you get started doing poetry?
I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it since I've known you guys, even before that.
Yeah, but like what made you?
I feel like I honestly should have been submitting more stuff like while I was in college, but I just was so consumed with just getting graduating that everything else, and partying, I guess too. I'm not gonna lie, partying got in the way of a lot of things too, but I don't trade those moments either.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just now, since I think last summer, just getting my work out there. I also have one poem that's going to be published in June by Rigwelter Press, great online journal in Scotland.
Scotland?
Either Scotland or England. I'm sorry.
United Kingdom.
It just said UK, but I apologize if I got any countries confused there to the editors there. I haven't really looked at location because it's an online journal, so locations aren't as specific to me when it comes to an online place. But the person who runs it, Amy Kingsman, she is incredible. Her work is great, and she runs like 3 different publications, which I would probably lose my goddamn mind more than I already have doing.
Question. Do you have a poem we can listen to?
I could break one out. It's my slam poem.
Yes, please.
It's the one you. It's one you
Proceed.
guys saw. Actually, this is actually both going to be published in Ghost City Review, and I also performed this.
What is it? Ghost City Review?
Ghost City Review.
G-O City. Okay.
Yeah, like
Cool.
as in
Ghost.
Oh, Ghost is in
Yeah.
Casper.
yeah.
Ghost
Gotcha.
City Review.
Yep.
And you've been doing a lot of live poems, right? Live poetry.
Yep, I just performed at Nishi's just last night. I'm performing at another event at Villa Maria called The Love Movement. It's all about body positivity. It's an incredible organization about just being yourself and loving who you are, and I'm doing a bunch of poems for that, so I'm really humbled to be part of that. I'm also performing on the 24th at Milky's on Elmwood. It's the 24th of March. I don't know what the cover is. I think it's a very short cover charge, but I'll, just look it up on Facebook. I'll be sharing it all over.
Busy man.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, this poem.
Yes,
Let's hear it.
proceed.
Yeah, the poem. All right.
Let's hear it.
This
Embracing
one-
myself.
This is called Atypical. I was not sure neurotypical kid growing up. Atypical was more along those lines. I used to reimagine all the taunting, all the laughs from those looking in, because I was their sad clown crying out, because I could hear things a bit louder than everyone else in the room, because even though I try to be at a 2, when I'm told to bring it down from a 15, I turn my personality meter the opposite way and bring it up to a 20. Because I would have public mental breakdowns or my quiet ramblings would descend into intense screaming sessions. I am still not your neurotypical man. I am still the atypical because my spectrum is always changing its labels, because I still overthink everything, because I say sorry way too much, because I still provoke eye-rolling signals and weirded out facial expressions, because even though I blossomed into this social butterfly, my wings still crackle and break apart when I try to fly too high, because dating to me is like a social kamikaze where I only plunge myself out only to watch life blow up in my face. But you want to know something? My brain is beautiful. Because it's not bound by a spectrum. Because those with autism should be respected and loved for being themselves, not abandoned and loathed for being different. Because I am not your statistic, and I will not let this define my whole, just a fraction of my being. Because I still take pride in it. Because it's a mental challenge, and I leap over and conquer it every day. Because no one is normal. And one day we all will die, so I plan to live the rest of my life being me. Because over a poet, over a wordsmith, over a storyteller, over a friend, over a brother, over a grandson, over a son, over a brother, over a lover, the best I can be in this lifetime is me.
That was really good.
Yeah, dude, that was tight. That was a lot tighter than the recording that I saw when you
bump.
sent me that recording the first time you did it.
Yeah, it's also because it was on video recording with people in the background.
No,
so
like the way you delivered that was
Yeah,
a lot.
like there was hand motions.
I
and
also have been
facial
practicing it
expressions.
because, like, here's my thing. My goal this summer, if not this summer, but next summer,
Mm-hmm.
now that I know what my strongest poems are, because I have other poems I feel that are just as strong, is to make the national slam team for Puring Poetry, who are Buffalo's representatives. I hate to toot my own horn and put
you
know,
came in like
the
fourth
slam-
or
Do we have a
something,
horn
right?
that he can toot?
I
button?
came
Hold
in
on.
fourth to the last one too.
You have to toot a
there
horn.
has to be a horn here. Let me see.
I don't think for a laugh track, but you should have that in
no,
your sounds
No,
database.
this is my buttons. I don't
He
know.
has a horn button, so you can toot it.
I like that one better though.
Jared has to toot it though. They're
Here.
Toot toot.
Here, hit the air horn. It's the orange one on top.
This one.
Nice.
Yeah, toot
Yeah,
that
there
horn.
you go.
Oh yeah.
Question also.
Hold on, real quick. He was just saying how
Oh.
he didn't make the national team, but it's because there
Not
were
yet.
3 people that like were really
no,
good, right?
so
What
the
was
way
that
it
thing you were
works.
telling me about?
So the way it works with the puring poetry is it's like football.
Yeah.
Football during the season, you have certain teams have to that have to have a good season, and eventually they have the playoffs. They have to qualify for the Super Bowl. That's how my situation is. It's all tournament when the season starts. So like if you have to place, I have not yet placed. Fourth place, you have to place in the top 3. I've placed fourth though out of like 12 to 15 people on a couple of occasions, which I feel still says a lot because there are poets.
You're right on that cusp, man. You're that bubble kid, and you're ready to go.
Like legit, the person who runs the whole thing, Brandon. And again, I'm not trying to like put down anyone or sound like unmodest or selfish. I'm just really proud of myself because when you're told by the guy who runs the whole thing that if you keep it at this rate, you keep going and pushing at this rate, that you are bound to make. You're not only bound to place top 3, you're bound to be a winner in at least one of these slams.
Heck yeah!
Like
Woo. That
means the world. Like I'm not saying this out of self-centeredness. I'm saying this simply out of pride. And,
Hell yeah, man!
I've been doing this since 2014 actually with Pure Ink, and there were times where I took like a year-long break, and I'm finally getting into knowing what my voice sounds like. I feel like as poets we have like our own voice. Like this is anything. Like you have your own voice in whatever art or performance you do. Like you guys have your own voice as podcasters. Like I have my voice as a poet. But yeah, I'm just
and it's evolving. That's what I meant. Like it's sounding.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
it
much.
sounded good.
I'm trying. Like a lot of it is due to the inspiration. Someone who
Not to interrupt, but you sound way more mature in your poems than when I first saw you doing the open mics at Damon.
Oh my God, that was years ago though, bro. That was like pre-Pure Ink.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're really.
I appreciate
getting
that.
there.
I really do. If I could just take this time, I want to just give a shout out to 10,000.
Another one, 10,000 more.
No, his name is
kidding,
10,000. He actually performed at Damon. He was the very reason I wanted to go into slam poetry. My friend who also went to Damon, Bree, who is the only other Damon student who was part of it at one point aside from me, she was the one who introduced me to it. But my longing to do something like slam poetry is another part of my literary evolving life was because of 10 and a lot of other poets like Ben Brandeis, 10,000, Brandon Williamson, Bianca McGraw, so many people who just like inspired me to go out there and just let out my voice. Yeah.
Oh, you can finish.
No, I'm done.
I have a question. When you submit your stuff to be published, do you submit like a recording or is it like
it's usually in words,
written?
Yeah, and here's my thing: like I don't submit a lot of slam poems. It's like Atypical and one other poem were probably only slam poems because the one thing I really learned, I feel, in just a few short years, is there's a difference between being a poetry reader and then a poetry performer. And even then, when you're slamming, to me, there's no difference because, like, my voice is humor matching intensity. Like, I can start off a little bit of a humorous rant, a little bit of a humorous tone, and then you see it go from, oh my God, this guy's a little, he's going a little funny and sassy to, this is me going all out. So, like,
yeah, you don't really get that when you're reading it.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to because you can, but like it's a different type of intensity. Like if a publisher's reading my poem, I'm not expecting them to hear me screaming at them, and but the intensity in a different sense, like imagery, stuff like imagery, like the use of literary device, like object personification and similes and metaphors, how those can become an intense tool within the word, and then how when you perform, it becomes an even more intense tool, like in the spoken word. I actually am I'm getting so much more praise more than I ever have, and it's like I don't want to say overwhelming. It's just that I didn't think I would make it this far. To be honest, I still kept trying at it because writing is all about rejection. Whether it's publishing or seeing a low scorecard when you're performing, you have to have a patience for that. And if anything Ryan has built me as a human being, it's being someone who's patient. And you guys have known me for what, like 5 to 6 years now? Like
a while.
Old Jared would have been like, fuck this shit, I'm done.
Yep. Angry rant. I'm out of here.
Boigo goigo. Oh, by the way, speaking of boigo goigo,
what? What does this mean?
the meat stuff from the show The League, that steak sandwich episode. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong.
No, actually, I'm not caught up to date on The League.
Anyway, I'm not either because it's not on Hulu nor Netflix anymore, unfortunately. But what's his name? Steve Remenzinski. Renizzi. I'm not making any more excuses. I am seeing this beautiful man perform his comedy.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny.
I need to see. It's not that I want to see him.
He's hilarious.
I fucking need to see him.
If not Nick a want, it's a need.
If Nick Kroll isn't getting his goddamn ass over here, then I'm gonna settle for the same hunka chunka of comedy laughs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Whoop,
whoop. Do we have a lot of time left?
We can be done whenever.
I really have so much to say though, because it's
been
like forever.
My
new Jeep too. Yeah, I love it so much. I'm actually Ubering with it now too.
Really?
You're an Uber driver?
Yeah, I'm doing it as part-time work for my online job, but I love it. Honestly, I've only gotten like one bad rider out of like 30 different people.
They're gonna say 3.
No, I don't care what anyone says about Buffalo. Say what you want about like the old assholes who voted for Tim Howard and all that shit. But Buffalo really is a city of good neighbors, and you can tell that if you're taxiing at least like 50 people within such a short radius, and they're all so kind to you without you even having to try, I can guarantee you that shit would not fly in New York City. And no matter where you are, whether it's like, the passive aggressive, polite hipster gentrified areas of Brooklyn, or whether it's Queens where everyone talks loud but it doesn't mean they're obnoxious, when some people still are. You can ask my mom that. But yeah, like
Dickwad.
Yeah. Childhood memories right there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That's where we learn these words.
Oh yeah.
We should have a panel of Uber drivers on for an episode. Get you,
that would be
Brian, just to talk about the best experiences.
You can get Ferg and Bruce in too.
Oh, they do it too?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your
Bruce
best
got
story?
me into it. Actually, I do want to say I have one story. This guy, my thing with my first or second night Ubering, right? It's like probably 11 p.m., so it's not that late. I'm picking up this one dude, and I just feel I have to tell the story because it's incredible. I don't want to say I didn't believe him just because, crazier shit has still happened, but it was pretty cool to hear this guy what he survived. This guy was, I don't know how he happened, but he had like a heart attack, and he was in the hospital, right? And he was in cardiac arrest, like, I don't remember the time frame he told me, but he was legit not even in a coma. He was dead for a certain amount of time, and then he was revived. Like, not by like any Jaws of life or what are the palpitators?
Shocking.
The shocking thingies, yeah.
AED or anything.
Yeah, the AED. Sorry, you would know more than I would. So, the AED things.
Or the defibrillator, yeah.
The defibrillator. Why
the defibrillator.
I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm still bad at pronunciation, even as a writer. English language is overrated anyway. We're the only one with conjunctions.
Speak American.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Speak Americanese.
American.
I'll speak like a... like a redneck.
Oh.
Like I got tobacco in the other corner of my mouth.
Do you? No, you don't have you don't have a little spit thing.
Nah, I got my spit tuning right here.
In your elbow?
Yeah, the sour. I rubbed the tobacco there. Just another pizza stain. I don't eat pizza. That's what those lower New Yorkers eat. This is venison blood or something. Yeah.
On that note.
On that note.
So he was dead.
Wait, what?
What happened after he died?
He came back to life. Like, I think it was like he was dead for a straight, like, I don't know if he said like 25 minutes or 2 days. I know that's a huge time difference, but I don't remember. I just remember it being a normally long time to be like.
He was dead longer than normal.
Yeah. And
well,
I just thought it was amazing.
I
just thought it was amazing because you hear stories like this a lot, but you don't like hear it from the actual person. So that was pretty cool, and I'm happy that he was revived because he was a really nice dude.
Yeah, that's good that he came back. Is he a zombie?
Probably not because he wasn't trying to eat my flesh.
Oh, okay, that's good.
They have to eat your flesh unless you mean zombie in the more traditional sense where where his mind is controlled by the government. But in the end, aren't we all zombies in that sense then? I hate to go all Dan Harmon on this, but I just thought I'd say that. Yeah. By the way, David.
By the way, Dan Harmon is a alumni of Comedy Sports.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That is badass.
Is he the guy from Community?
Yes.
He's the guy who created Community and Rick and Morty.
Oh.
And Harmon Quest.
I love the lava episode of Community. I haven't seen that many episodes of Community.
Oh my god!
I've seen
I love
the lava tag one.
You did the right thing by watching the later seasons too, because in season 6 they bring in the amazing Keith David.
Oh.
Keith David. I'm sorry, I love Morgan Freeman, but when it comes to Keith David's voice, fuck him. Keith David has the voice of a fucking angel, and
Morgan Freeman's voice is God's voice.
I don't care.
He sounds like God.
He is the voice of God.
Like, I don't know.
I guess he should be the voice of God.
Like, if I had to guess what
is
God
this a
sounded
good Morgan Freeman voice? I think it's a good Morgan Freeman voice. I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. It sounds kind of like Charlie Daniels.
Oh. Ever went down to Georgia?
No, it kind of sounded like Johnny Cash.
Devil went down to Georgia.
No. I don't know, but it just sounded like a really old, like Clint Eastwood?
What do you got, punk? Huh?
What I got is the wrap up of this episode.
Aww.
I want to thank Jared for coming on.
I want to thank you for having me, sexy
definitely
boy.
Check him out on social media, JB Stone Truth, right?
Yep, JB Stone Truth. That's my Twitter. You can also check me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram now. And just look up Benjamin.Jared or something like that.
And
or
SoundCloud.
Look up or SoundCloud too. I don't have a lot of poetry on SoundCloud right now, and my Facebook page I gotta update more on that. But Twitter and Instagram I'm on point with, so follow me through there.
Yeah, it's good.
It's always a good time.
And this has been Joe Kenyon, your host. Follow me on social media. It's Jules Choquet. Co-host Nikki.
Hey.
Little Nikki 2980.
I love that goddamn screen name.
Thanks.
Yep.
I forgot my Instagram password again.
Adam Sandler would be proud.
And don't forget to follow the show everywhere. Diligent Loiter. You can call us 530-68-DL-POD, 530-683-5763. Check us out, diligentloiter.com. If you're interested in some DJ services in the Buffalo area, diligentloiterentertainment.com.
They are a 5-star rated business. I want you to understand, Google is still 5 stars, and they have 5 stars. That's like Waldorf Astoria. Get that through your thick skulls if you want some good wedding business. They are the Waldorf Astoria of DJ services. Boom.
Thanks. We should have you do a radio commercial.
I think I have a great voice for radio.
I want to thank you all for listening. And until next time, stay serious about doing nothing.
And sexy. And don't forget to tee-hee-hee-hee. Do? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a really cool performance. Like I was like, whoa. Like you got like the way you got into it. I was like, holy
Thank
shit.
you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Especially since you're both talented musicians, so that always helps.
I'm not really good. I just
See, that's what a talented musician says. I'm not good. I just did this bass solo out of nowhere by ear the other day. It wasn't a big deal. That's like a good. That's like if Jimi Hendrix went to someone and was like, "I just do this guitar solo, bro." Wait, I just do this guitar solo, daddy-o.
Daddy-o.
Wasn't no big thing.
Want no big thing.
That's you.
Want no big thing.
Silly. All right, well, I don't know if you guys have to go to sleep soon, so I'll probably head out soon.
Alright, yeah.
Diligent Loiter is brought to you by Diligent Loiter Entertainment, Buffalo, New York.